What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome to Fresh Comic Stories. Guys, this is the channel where we basically sit down and cover different kinds of comic book stories. Now guys, today we are going to jump back over to Marvel and we are going to cover the House of M event. Now, the reason why we are covering this book right here, guys, because we are continuing with our coverage over the Avengers and trying to complete a reading order for you guys. Now, we started back with Siege, but now we're going back to storylines that took place before Siege, like the House of M event. Now, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please hit that like button down below and also subscribe for more comic book stories like this in the near future. But guys, I'm out of here and let's go ahead and dive into the House of M event. To begin today's storyline, we pick up with the Scarlet Witch right now giving birth to twin boys. Now, this is where you have Brian Michael Bendis remind us that the Scarlet Witch mind is broken. Because you have Charles Xavier appear in the room after the twins were born to tell Scarlet Witch to stop, that what she's doing right now is not right. She cannot use her mutant powers to change reality. Because there was a storyline where her and the Vision were expecting twins. But after a few months of being pregnant, it was revealed to be a trick by Mephisto, meaning that she never was expecting children of her own. And so right now, you have her using her powers to bring those kids back to life, because all she wanted was to have a family. Now, you do have Charles Xavier able to use his powers as a way to calm her down, but also have her put everything back to the way it was. Now, we do jump over to Avengers Tower, where we pick up with Charles Xavier calling a meeting with the Avengers, X-Men, and a few other heroes in New York. The reason why he is calling this meeting is because to decide the fate of the Scarlet Witch. Even though Magneto and Charles Xavier has been trying to help her ever since the ending of Avengers Disassemble, she hasn't been getting better. She has been getting worse. And so you have Charles Xavier tell everyone in the room that he has been trying to help her. But the problem is, though, he can't. Sooner or later, her powers will go out of control to the point where she could really harm reality in the worst way possible. Now, while the Avengers are having this meeting, you had Quicksilver, the twin brother of the Scarlet Witch and the son of Magneto, run back to Magneto and tell his father what he heard of the meeting. He tells his father that they are basically planning on if they should kill the Scarlet Witch or not. Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch are very close to one another. Shoot, better than most siblings in Marvel Comics. And so you have Quicksilver beg Magneto to do something to stop the Avengers. The thing is, though, you have Magneto tell Quicksilver that he can't do anything, that maybe they are right about killing her off before she gets worse. Now, we do pick up with the Avengers and the X-Men arriving to Genosa, I have a hard time saying that, Genosa Island, to talk to the Scarlet Witch about the next move should be. The problem is, though, when the whole group arrives to the island, people start disappearing left and right, starting with Charles Xavier. And soon after he disappeared, you had some members of the Avengers and the X-Men vanish as well, to the point where Spider-Man is the only man left on the island. Then he sees a bright light out of nowhere. And that is when we quickly jump over to Peter Parker getting out of bed, but behind him there is a wedding photo. It's not Mary Jane in the photo, it is Gwen Stacy. When it comes to the second chapter of this story, you do have Brian Michael Bendis open up this chapter with showing us that the world has changed. we get a page where Captain America is an old man, that he lived out his life after the war. Another page where we see Cyclops and Emma Frost are a couple, which, by the way, will happen in comics a few books after this point right here. But you also have Carol Danvers being the most popular hero in the world. And it's kind of like, whoa, this is completely a new world that we have been introduced to. Now, the big thing about this new world is that mutants are the top species in the world. Humans and mutants have switched roles, where if you are a human, it is frowned upon. The reason why I say this, because we pick up with Storm right now trying to get ready for a big event for the House of Magnus. Meaning that Magneto is now in charge of this brand new world, and everyone looks up to him. Matter of fact, guys, he's like the best person in the world. Everybody says we are happy that Magneto is in charge. Now, we do jump over to Wolverine, and right now he is waking up to Mystique in bed with him. And he freaks out about it because he knows that those two people should not be in bed together at all. Guys, Wolverine remembers the original Marvel Universe, where Wolverine and Mystique were enemies for years and years. But now, when he wakes up, they're in bed together. And he's kind of like, this is not right. And when he goes outside, he sees that the whole world has completely changed. It's not the same world he was in literally in the first chapter. Everything has changed. While Wolverine is outside, he starts to get flashbacks of the world he used to live in before this new world was made. Now you do have Wolverine jump off the helicarrier to see what the city is like from the ground level. That is when he sees that he is in a new world. The city praises Spider-Man. Mary Jane is a top level model. Mutants are in charge in this world, and Carol Danvers is actually a popular superhero, and Storm is the Queen of Kenya. This is where Wolverine is realizing that the world has changed, and he needs to look for some kind of answers on how this happened. Now, the first idea he has is where in the world is Charles Xavier? Because he's the world's most powerful psychic. Maybe he can help figure out what in the world is going on. And so you have Wolverine go to where the Xavier Institute should be at. And right off the bat, you have Wolverine realizing that things are different here as well. And so what he does, he breaks into the house to have a look around. And he sees that a single family lives here. There are not a bunch of different children from all over the world, just a family of 4. And you have Wolverine walk over to the master bedroom to see maybe Charles Xavier is in there. But he sees another man and his wife in bed. And so you have Wolverine question the man like, where is Charles Xavier? And the man has no idea what Wolverine is even talking about at all. Now you have Wolverine go to Stark Tower because when the new Avengers were formed, most of the team stayed in Stark Tower and kind of called it the Avengers Tower. Of course, when he tries to go inside, that is when he is told there is no Avengers. Matter of fact, Tony Stark doesn't even stay in the tower himself. He travels all over the world. Now, while Wolverine is trying to figure out his next game plan, he is greeted by his team that he works with under Magneto control. Kind of like an enforcement team, which on this team is Mystique, Nightcrawler, Rogue, Jessica Drew aka Spider-Woman, and Toad. And they are here to bring him in to see what is wrong with him. Now they ask him to come in quietly, but if he doesn't, they will use force. Of course, Wolverine doesn't want to go with them. And so it does begin a fight between the two sides. Now, Wolverine does try to get away from them the best he can, but when it seems like they might catch up to him, he is saved by Cloak. Now, Cloak is a character most people don't care about. He usually works alongside with a girl named Dagger, but Cloak has the ability to teleport anything or anyone as long as they are well inside his cloak. And so he grabs Wolverine and takes him to Luke Cage. Before Wolverine is able to get an answer from Luke Cage, you have Luke Cage tell Wolverine he needs to destroy his tracker they have on him. Before Wolverine is able to say anything, you have Hawkeye appear out of nowhere, which this right here is huge because Hawkeye died in Avengers Disassemble. And with him being back, it's kind of like, yo, he's back as well. He's alive. Now, you do have Hawkeye shoot an arrow which knocks out Wolverine, but also kills the tracker that was placed on Wolverine. Now, when Wolverine comes back to after being knocked out, he tells Luke Cage they should have killed the tracker as soon as he arrived, because he knows that the people who are after him would be able to locate him with an ease. Which of course, they do appear right above Luke Cage's team trying to arrest him, but also bring in Wolverine. Now you do have Cloak able to use his powers once again to get everyone out of there and take everybody to a different location. Now you do have Wolverine tell Luke Cage basically what's going on right now. And you have Wolverine say, listen, this world that we live in is not real. This world is fake. Matter of fact, Luke Cage, you and I were part of a team called the Avengers. And you have Luke Cage kind of like, what in the world is an Avenger? But you have Wolverine kind of like, that's my point. This whole world is fake. Spider-Man was not a popular hero in New York. You and I were part of a team called the Avengers alongside with Tony Stark. And matter of fact, Hawkeye was dead. Now that's the big thing right there that has Hawkeye kind of like, what do you mean? What do you mean I was dead? And you have Wolverine say, you died, buddy. The Scarlet Witch went crazy and she basically killed you off. And that is when you have Hawkeye tell Wolverine, that's impossible because Scarlet Witch is a human. She has no powers. And as soon as Hawkeye said that right there, Wolverine realized it had to be her who made this brand new world, because her mutant ability does give her the idea to basically change the world, to change reality. And so you have Wolverine kind of like, it has to be her. She was the one who changed everything around us. Magneto forced his own daughter to use her powers to change reality. But that's when you have Luke Cage say, you know what? I believe you. I believe you that you are telling the truth about this world being a fake. Only because this small girl right here, Layla Miller, she told me the same thing as well. That this world that we're living in is not real. Now guys, when it comes to Layla Miller, she's a very interesting character. Like honestly, for me to dive in more about her and talk about her powers and everything, I need to make a separate video for her, which I'm going to do down the road. But the thing is though, Layla Miller is able to remember everything like Wolverine. She remembers that this world is fake. Now, you do have Wolverine realize they have to find Charles Xavier, because maybe Charles Xavier will be able to use his powers on Wolverine, but also Layla Miller as a way to tell everybody else, hey, this world is fake. This world is not real at all. But the thing is, Wolverine cannot find Charles Xavier. And so he finds the second most powerful psychic in the world, Emma Frost. And when they go to her place and Emma Frost used her powers on Wolverine and Layla Miller, just like that, all her old memories come back to her and she remembers everything. And she's kind of like, you're telling me Magneto used his powers, or sorry, not his powers, but use his daughter's powers to make a world where mutants are in charge and he is basically the king of all mutants. We are going to kill Magneto. Now, you have Emma Frost use her powers as a way to study Layla Miller powers a little bit more, as a way to get an understanding on how she is able to remember everything but no one else can. You have Emma Frost at this point in Marvel Comics say Layla Miller is a mystery because she has no idea if she truly is a mutant or not. That is the $1 million question. But also, she doesn't understand how her powers work, and she wishes she had more time to study her. The thing is, they don't have time to sit around and continue to learn more about her. They have to go around and wake up everybody they can because they are going to need an army to fight against Magneto. They wake up Cyclops first because, well, in this new world, he is married to Emma Frost. So when he comes home from work, well, Emma Frost wakes him up. After him, they go and get Spider-Man, and this was the hardest part to read. What I mean is that you have Brian Michael Bendis spend some time on this character. When they have to wake up Peter Parker, he literally has a breakdown. Because Gwen Stacy and Uncle Ben are alive. Gwen and him are a married couple, but also they have a child as well. And so for him, it is crushing to come to the idea that all of this is fake. The fact that the woman he loved and the uncle he loved are back and they are a happy family is hard for him because he knows this is not right. They have to reverse everything, which means losing them once again. After waking up Spider-Man, you do have the heroes go around and wake up other heroes who are still under the spell of this new world. We even get a few pages where the team Wolverine was working with in this new world come back again one more time, but Emma Frost and Layla Miller were able to wake them up as well. That is when they realize they have everyone they can gather to at least have a chance to fight against Magneto and the people who look up to him. Before we jump over to the next chapter though, we jump over to Magneto, who is just walking around happy about the new world he lives in. The thing is though, we come to find out there is a memorial for Professor Xavier, which is us finding out where he has been this whole time. He is dead in this new world that was built by the Scarlet Witch, because this memorial says he died so Genosha can live on. Now, you have Wolverine and the rest of the heroes gather around in the helicarrier to come up with the next game plan on how they are going to take Magneto down. Now, you do have everybody realize how Scarlet Witch was able to give everybody the one thing they wanted by using the powers of Charles Xavier, by tapping into his powers, by reading the mind of every single character across the Marvel universe on Earth. They were able to figure out the one desire each hero wanted. For example, Spider-Man. Spider-Man wanted Gwen Stacy and Uncle Ben back to life again. That was his one desire. And just like that, bam, Charles Xavier powers were able to tell Scarlet Witch that what he wants, and she gave it to him. Magneto being the king of all mutants right now, how mutants are now the best species on the planet Earth. It was her giving what her father wanted, because again, she was able to tap into the mind of Charles Xavier and go around and give everybody their one desire. Now, we do get a few more pages of Cyclops sitting down with his team of heroes and trying to come up with a game plan on how they're going to take down Magneto. Now, we do jump over to Magneto right now getting ready for his celebration event. Because right now you have Storm, Namor, Black Panther, and also Doctor Doom arrive for this big event at the home of Magneto. Now, real quick side note, I am debating on doing another video that basically covers where in the world are the Fantastic Four in the House of M universe. Because guys, if you have not realized yet, we have not seen that one character of the Fantastic Four in this universe because they are not around. And the question is though, where are they? And so there is a tie-in that kind of sits down and explains on where in the world are they. And I'm kind of debating on if we should sit down and actually cover that tie-in. Now, you do have everybody come together for this big event, and it is a big celebration for Magneto. But of course, out of nowhere, you have a Sentinel fall out of sky, and Magneto and Polaris at the last second able to stop it from falling on the ground, and it's kind of like, what in the world is going on? And that is when you have Wolverine and the rest of the heroes begin their attack on Magneto. This is the begin of the final battle. Now, while the heroes are fighting against Magneto and his forces, you have Emma Frost, Layla Miller, and Cloak go try to find Charles Xavier to see if he's able to fix all of this, to make the Scarlet Witch put everything back. The thing is, when Layla Miller, Emma Frost, and Cloak find sorry, I can't talk, sorry guys. When Emma Frost and Layla Miller and Cloak go look around to find basically where Charles Xavier could be at, they find his memorial. And they're kind of like, oh crap, he's dead in this new universe. He is dead in his new universe. He died for Genosa. But the thing is, out of nowhere, you have Cloak go underground and see if there even is a dead body. And that is when Cloak tells Emma Frost and Layla Miller, there's no body down there. Why in the world do you have a memorial for him, but no body for him? Meaning that Charles Xavier doesn't even exist in this new universe that was built by Scarlet Witch. Now, we quickly jump over to Wolverine and the other heroes fighting against Magneto and his forces. This is a big battle that is happening all over the island. And something to point out though is Magneto, because he keeps asking, why are you attacking me and my family? Like he doesn't have a clue what he did. Now the heroes believe he was the one who told Scarlet Witch to change the world by using her powers to change reality. Now, while the fight is going on outside, we pick up with Doctor Strange sneaking into the room of the Scarlet Witch to talk to her, because she is the only one who can change the world back to normal. This is a very important moment because you have Doctor Strange try to reach out to her as a friend, but somewhat like a therapist, to reason with her, to make everything go back to normal. And while they are talking to one another, Doctor Strange mentions the fact he knows Magneto made her do this. And that is when you have the Scarlet Witch reveal it wasn't even Magneto who made her do this. It was actually Quicksilver made her change the world instead. And this is where we jump back to the point of the story where Quicksilver had ran over to Magneto to warn him how the Avengers, the X-Men, and also Charles Xavier were planning to kill the Scarlet Witch. And after Magneto told him no, he can't do anything at all, Quicksilver ran over to his sister and talked to her about changing the world, that she could make everything better for everyone in the whole world. And that is when you have Doctor Strange realize that Magneto is actually an innocent man, but Quicksilver is the reason for this new world was built, to protect his own sister. Now, you have Doctor Strange tell Emma Frost about the big secret, and while he's telling her, Magneto appears still confused on why they are attacking him for. And that is when you have Emma Frost and Layla Miller wake up Magneto as well. Now guys, this is the moment where you have Magneto just lose his mind. He finds out that Quicksilver went too far for what he did and made Magneto look like a fool. And this is where we get to see Magneto freak out to the point where he just pushed every other hero to the side and starts to beat up on Quicksilver for what he did, to the point where he actually kills off Quicksilver. Now guys, this also pissed off another person. That pisses off the Scarlet Witch. It makes her go crazy because the death of her brother just made things worse. Guys, remember, Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch were close. And so with his death, she freaks out. She agrees the world should go back to the way it was, but she believes the world will be better without mutants like her father. And so she says, no more mutants. Now we pick up with the last chapter of this story, and this chapter brings us to the point where everything is back to normal now. With the world being back to normal, you have this chapter used as a way to explore how everyone is feeling after the event of House of M. Now, quick fact to throw out there, not everybody remembers the House of M world. Only a select few characters remember the event. For example, we pick up with Spider-Man in the Avengers, and we see Spider-Man have another breakdown because he remembers everything about the House of M. He remembers the whole world, Gwen Stacy, Uncle Ben, having a child. He remembers all of that. And guys, it is crushing for him because once again, he had to let go of Gwen Stacy and let go of Uncle Ben once again. Now, we jump over to the X-Men and we pick up with Emma Frost waking up outside the X Mansion. And when she rushes in, this is the moment where she finds out that millions of mutants have lost their powers, that there only are 198 mutants left in the world, which is huge because you're talking about a world that was full of mutants by the millions are now brought down to just 198 people left. 198 mutants left with their powers. Now, this is not just characters who fans didn't really care for. You're talking about characters that are on the main roster. For example, Iceman, Bobby Drake lost his powers, and that is huge because Iceman, even though his popularity has gone up and down in Marvel Comics, he still was a popular character in the X-Men roster. And to see them say, hey, look, even the main characters in the X-Men roster are being affected by the Scarlet Witch saying no more mutants. She took away most of the mutants' powers away and just left a couple hundred of them. And it's kind of like, wow, this is huge. Now, we do get a one-page setting with Wolverine saying that he remembers everything about his past. And that is huge because, guys, when it comes to the character Wolverine, he had a hard time remembering anything before Alpha Flight, the X-Men. All he knows that Weapon X took him in and they gave him his metal body. And that was it. Before that, he forgotten everything. But thanks to the House of M event, he remembers his past. Just like that. He's kind of like, bam, I remember everything. Now, you do have the X-Men go over to Magneto, because still, even though Magneto was an innocent man, he should know where our Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are at. And so you have the X-Men kind of like, where's Quicksilver? Where is Scarlet Witch? Where is Charles Xavier? You need to answer us right now. And you have Magneto just sitting there kind of like, I have no idea. I have no idea where Scarlet Witch is. I have no idea where Quicksilver is. I have no idea where Charles Xavier is at. I am basically a man who's lost on this island. Because, guys, we come to find out Magneto has also lost his powers. He was a mutant, and when Scarlet Witch said no more mutants, she took away his powers as well. And this is huge for the X-Men. And guys, this is us wrapping up this event. Now guys, honestly, I do love the House of M event, and it is a book I say you guys should go pick up and read. Now guys, please leave me a like down below, and also subscribe for more comic book videos in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, let me know in the comments below. But guys, I'm out of here, and I'll see y'all in the next comic book video.